Hey guys, welcome to Dev by Dion. I'm Dion and today we're going to create this awesome cube movement. Have fun! Before we start, here's our project setup and we have, what surprise, a cube. But I also added these fancy flying ground things to make the scene a little bit more eye-catchy. Yeah, you're welcome. To make the magic happen, we just need one single script. And in this tutorial, we will create a C# script and we will call it Awesome Cube Movement. Add it to our cube, double-click it, and we will jump right into our editor. First, we need to create three private variables. The first one will be of type bool and we will call it canMove. Let's duplicate it 2 times and change the type of the second one to vector3 and name it currentCubePosition. The third one will be of type quaternion and we will call it currentCubeRotation. Now we need to create 3 public variables, all of type float. The first one will be the distance. Duplicate it 2 times, call the second one jump height, and the third one duration. Next, we are going to initialize the private variables in the start method. canMove will be set to true. The current cube position equals the transform.position, and the current cube rotation will be equal the transform.rotation. We are using a coroutine to move our cube, but I'm not going to explain coroutines in this video. So if you want to learn more about coroutines, write it down in the comments and I will create a separate video for that. To create a coroutine, we need to create a method with the IEnumerator as return type. And let's call the method cubeMovement. The cube movement will have a float parameter called duration. Every coroutine needs a return value. So we are doing a quick yield return null to get rid of the error. To execute a coroutine, we need the start coroutine method, which will get an IEnumerator as parameter. We will place that in the update method and pass in our cube movement coroutine. As parameter for our cube movement, we use our predefined public variable duration. To stop the update method to fire a coroutine every frame, we use the canMove boolean as a trigger. So at the beginning of our cube movement, we will set the canMove to false and put an if statement around our start coroutine. So only if canMove is true, we execute the coroutine. In the next step, we will make our cube move. For that, we need a lerp method, and that's why some more variables are needed. The first one is a float called progress with a value of 0. The second one is a var, yep, laziness for the win. Let's call it endRotation and set it equal to a quaternion Euler 0, 0, 180. And the last variable for now is a target position, which is a vector3. As parameters, we use the currentCubePosition.x, the currentCubePosition.y, and the currentCubePosition.z. For the x coordinate, we add our public variable distance so that the target position is not the same as the current position. Before we continue, here's a short explanation for everyone who don't know how lerping works. The lerp method takes 3 parameters. The first one is the start position, the second one is the target position, and the third one is the time which is clamped between 0 and 1. So, with the lerp method, our game object is able to move from position A to position B in a given time. When the time is 0, the game object is exactly on position A, and when the time is 1, the game object is on position B. But let's continue with our script. So, let's create a while loop and place our return statement in the body of the loop. The condition for looping is loop as long as progress is smaller than duration. On every loop, we are going to increase the progress by itself plus the time dot delta time. I swear I feel sorry for that, but what would programming be without a bunch of variables? So let's create another one. Call it % and set it equal to mathf.clamp01 and pass in progress divided by duration as parameter. What clamp01 does is exactly what the name sounds like. It clamps the value between 0 and 1. That means if the result of our calculation would be negative, the returned value would be 0, and if the result would be greater than 1, the returned value would be 1, and every value in between is just the value itself. Guys, I promise you, this is the last variable we need. It is of type float, name it height, and set it equal to our jump height times mathf.sin and pass in mathf.pi times %. The last few lines of code are pretty easy. In our while loop, we need to adjust the queue position every iteration. Other than expected, we are not going to use the current queue position variable. Instead, we are using the transform position and set it equal to the result of our vector3 lerp method plus a new vector3. The parameters for the lerp will be the current queue position, the target position, and last the %, which is always a value between 0 and 1. For the new vector3, we pass in 0, the height, which will be the position of the cube on the y-axis, and 0. What we did for the position, we also need to do for the rotation. So type transform.rotation equals quaternion.lerp, pass in the current cube rotation, the end rotation, and the %. After the cube has arrived at the target position, our progress will be equal or greater than the duration, which means we are exiting the while loop. That means we need to adjust the current queue position variable to the new transform position. For the y-coordinate, we are passing in 0.5, because this is the exact value I want my cube to be at the end. Our last line of code will be to set the bool variable can move back to true, so that the movement can start again. Let's save the script and jump back to our Unity editor. As you can see, the 3 public variables are visible in the inspector, what makes adjusting them a lot easier. For the distance, we pass in a 4, for the jump height a 3, and for the duration a 0.7. Now we can press play and see if our script works like expected. Wonderful! From here you can modify the script as you wish. For example, you can implement some keyboard or touch controls and let the cube move like you can see here. That's it guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. See you in the next video.